in the first quarter GDP numbers just out today. Core GDP, now we're removing distortions from imports, inventories, and government spending, was up plus 3%. But this is Biden's economy because we took over on January 20th. And I think you have to get us a little bit of time to get moving, but this is the Biden economy.
What happens when a president promises a golden age, but the economy starts shrinking instead? This week, President Donald Trump went from boasting about America's comeback to warning parents that toys may soon be more expensive and fewer. So, is the economic bubble about to burst? Let's break down the sharp turn in tone, the troubling new data, and what it all means for your wallet and Trump's political future. It all started with the headline figure, a 0.3% contraction in the US economy for the first quarter of 2025. That may sound small, but symbolically, it's huge. It's the first negative GDP reading since Trump returned to office. Now, not all signs were catastrophic. Some economic indicators beneath the surface were more encouraging. And it's true, these reports can be revised later, but politically, the timing was disastrous. It landed just as the White House was celebrating Trump's first 100 days as one of the most effective presidencies in history. Instead of reassurance, the data triggered confusion and concern. Trump wasted no time. In a panicked post on Truth Social, he wrote, and I quote, "This is Biden's stock market, not Trump's." He insisted the downturn had nothing to do with tariffs. He doubled down at a cabinet meeting, saying even the next quarter could still be considered part of the Biden economy. This is familiar political territory. Every administration blames the last for bad news. But here's a twist. Trump is trying to avoid blame for a crisis he may have helped create. At the heart of this mess is Trump's ongoing trade war with China. Trump imposed massive tariffs, some as high as 145% on Chinese imports, aiming to pressure Beijing into fairer trade. But so far, there's no public evidence of a breakthrough. Instead, businesses are bracing for impact, rushing to stockpile goods before the full effects hit. The president even admitted it could mean fewer toys for kids. At a cabinet meeting, he said, and I quote, "Maybe the children will have 2 dolls instead of 30 dolls, and maybe the 2 dolls will cost more." End quote. He tried to spin it as a minor sacrifice, but the remark got to the heart of what Americans are already feeling: rising prices and shrinking wallets. The numbers don't lie. Former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers called it the least successful first 100 days on the economy in the last century. According to him, the stock market is down more than ever. The dollar has dropped. Forecasts for unemployment and inflation are rising. Consumer confidence is collapsing, and companies are pulling back their earnings projections. Even Trump's own team can't seem to agree on the messaging. His trade advisor, Peter Navarro, claimed this was the best negative print of GDP he had ever seen, somehow painting a slowdown as a win. But others admitted the negative growth might be tied to a surge in imports as firms scramble to beat Trump's tariffs. Trump's biggest political selling point, beyond his border policies, has always been his image as a successful businessman. But if Americans start to doubt that he can manage the economy, his political foundation could crumble. And it's not just about polls. GOP lawmakers are already jittery. Trump needs their support to push through this ambitious tax and budget plan. If they lose confidence in his economic strategy, the fractures could deepen within the party. While Trump's wealthy inner circle may shrug off price hikes, working class Americans are already feeling the squeeze. The cost of groceries, school supplies, clothes, and electronics, many of which come from China, is rising. Millions have seen their retirement savings take a hit as markets slide. For those planning to retire soon, these are nerve-wracking times. And despite his rhetoric, Trump has done little to ease these pressures. Behind closed doors, the White House appears more focused on praising the president than addressing the crisis. Cabinet members lavished Trump with compliments. Attorney General Pam Bondi even told him, "Your first 100 days has far exceeded that of any other presidency." Meanwhile, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt accused Amazon of political bias for allegedly planning to show shoppers the cost of Trump's tariffs, a move Amazon denied. In the end, it all suggests a White House drifting further from economic reality while families face the real cost of Trump's policies. Trump recently declared, "Our golden age has only just begun," but the numbers say otherwise. From GDP shrinkage and trade tensions to falling market confidence, the disconnect between Trump's rhetoric and the economic facts is growing. And while he keeps insisting this is all Biden's fault, the public, the markets, and maybe even his own party may not buy it for much longer.